Okay, I know I was rather critical of this motherboard when it first came out, but I gotta say, now that I got my hands on it, the MSI Mag Z790 Tomahawk has definitely grown on me. And given how it can be all yours right now for $260, while it does offer a lot of value at that price, and the DDR4 variant costs a bit less than that, even if at first glance, not a lot has changed between it and its last gen Z690 counterpart. And when it comes to stuff like power delivery, well, it's pretty much all the same, with a 16+1+1 power configuration, though the Z790 now operates at a maximum of 90 amps compared to the 70 amps compared to last gen. However, that won't really mean much unless you're pushing for some really hardcore overclocking. However, the improvements in power delivery led to this motherboard having a higher maximum rated memory overclock than the Z690, so that's something I guess. And when it comes to VRM cooling, well, it's pretty much exactly the same, and even performance the same as its older brother. Okay, so there's no real changes, but what about PCIe expansion? There gotta be some big improvements there. And yes, there is. You get one less 16x slot, which sure is a very weird thing to remove in what's supposed to be the better board, but at the same time, I don't think too many people would be using two 16x PCIe slots so close to each other, and the rest of the expansion is pretty good with a primary Gen 5 slot, one 16x slot, which is actually 4x, and also a tiny little 1x slot as well. And M.2 storage-wise is once again the same with 4 M.2 slots in total. But now, thanks to the engineering wonder that is the Z790 chipset, all of them operate at PCIe Gen 4, no questions asked, which is awesome to see. And MSI, thank you. No, really, thank you, because while I'm growing more agitated every single day about companies removing SATA connectors from your motherboards, here you went from 6 on the last gen variant to 7 on this one, with one extra one just hanging out at the bottom right here. Who even needs 7 SATA drives in this day and age? Let you know one, and if you need that many, you're probably dumb. But still, it's nice to have. In the rear I/O, however, we get to the biggest changes of them all, starting off with the fact that you get not one, but two USB Type-C ports, one of them operating at a maximum of 20 gigabits per second. That is huge for a motherboard at this price point. And the rest of the rear I/O, at least as far as the USB is concerned, is literally on like gigabyte levels of good, seeing how we have 8 USB Type-A ports in total, one more than last gen, with all of them, that's right, all of them being Gen 3 or faster. And while I wouldn't have minded 2 more Gen 2 just for your mouse and keyboard, which don't require that much bandwidth, it's still 8! Beyond that, you also get your standard array of 2.5 gig Ethernet, Wi-Fi 6E, both DisplayPort and HDMI, and all the audio jacks you could ever need, all running off the same ALC 4080 codec as last time. So at this point, there's something you're probably thinking to yourself. This whole review is very sus, because this whole thing seems very, very positive for this kind of channel, especially seeing how I got this motherboard as a review sample directly from MSI. And you know me, I'm the kind of, cynical, hates everything type of person, and a graphics card not having enough HDMI ports is enough of a reason for me to start sending out pipe bombs. However, there's just simply very little I could get upset about with this motherboard, because again, it offers quite a bit of value for its price. However, that doesn't mean it isn't without compromise, and there's certainly a few things that will be rather controversial about this motherboard, especially the aesthetic. Now, there are some changes from last time, like for example the M.2 heatsinks, which now feature this brushed look along the whole thing, and the top of the VRM heatsink also looks a bit different as well, to better fit in with the design sensibilities of 2023. Now, that could be a good or a bad thing, with the trend of anti-RGB builds really taking off in recent years. Having a motherboard like this one with a black on black on black color scheme and with no RGB to speak of could be a good thing if one of those people who hates color. However, it just lacks any kind of edge or unique identity of its own. Though I guess it does have the unique identity of not really having a unique identity. Where's the edge? Where's the sexiness? It's just not here. And again, for many people, it may not matter. And don't worry, you can still very much connect RGB devices to this motherboard, seeing how there are still RGB and addressable RGB headers on it. And thankfully, MSI got out of the habit of labeling the ARGB ports as J Rainbow, which was just pretentious, confusing, and made no sense. But still, if despite its criminal lack of RGB you still want to buy this motherboard yourself, then Amazon and Newegg links to it are going to be down in the video description below. And while you're down there, also check out our Patreon, because even a single $1 a month truly goes a long way, while you get awesome perks as well. A huge thanks to my existing patrons, Gavin Burns, LKB, Jason Rage, Ella Vroniak, Belish Roka, Meg Sumner, Shane Allcroft, Lanceby, and Level Up. But anyway, that's what it's. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all whenever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.